Today I'm going to teach you about a new syllable type called the silent E syllable or the V-E syllable. So the thing about the letter E is that it's kind of like the busiest letter. The letter E is helping out other vowels all the time. Sometimes it's being a vowel by itself. It always has so many different things to do. And today you're going to learn about a syllable type that has the letter E in it every single time. So before we get started with that, let's talk about the two syllable types that we already know about. We know about closed syllables. Closed syllables, like an example here, is what are syllables that have one vowel, here's the letter A, closed in by at least one consonant, which it is, and the vowel makes its short sound. So let's tap out this word. K, a, cap. When you look at the word cap, you see that the A is closed in by a consonant and it's making its short sound, and we call that a closed syllable. So then what happens if there is no consonant at the end? Then what you have is an open syllable, like in this word right here. There's no consonant on the end. There's one vowel, but because there's no consonant on the end, the vowel is going to make its long sound, which is its name usually. So in this case, we have B, E, B. Like, could this be any further from here? So these are the two syllable types that we've learned so far. Let's now look at the next one. I'm going to make a word on the bottom here, and you can try to read this word as I'm making it. Okay, let's tap out this word. Hop. Now I'm looking at this, I can see that this word and this syllable, because it's a one syllable word, it has one vowel, it's closed in by one consonant, and so the vowel is making its short sound. But what about if I add something to the end of it? And this is where it gets tricky. This is where we're going to bring that special silent E in. Okay. So now we have consonant, a vowel, a consonant, and then another vowel. So this is not a vowel team. A vowel team is when there was the two vowels right next to each other. These vowels are separated by a consonant. So what we have is an E on the end. And you probably remember from when we practiced reading in class that usually when E is at the end of a word, it doesn't make any sound at all. And now you're going to figure out why. So the letter E, sometimes we call it silent E, we call it sneaky E. What it does is it gives up its sound so that the vowel can say its name. Because right now the vowel is trapped by a consonant and it has to make its short sound. The sneaky E comes in very quietly, doesn't make any sound, and the vowel sneaks out the door and says its name. So now let's try reading this, knowing that this vowel is going to say its name. Let's tap it out. O, hope. And did you notice that I didn't say anything when I got to the E because the E is silent? So this new word says hope. Like, I hope you have a great day. That is what the silent E can do. It's very powerful. It helps vowels always to sneak out that door and say their names. Let's practice with another one. I'm going to put up a closed syllable. We're going to try to change it to a V-E syllable. Okay, what do we have here? Well, this is obviously closed. One vowel, one consonant closing it in. The vowel is going to make its short sound. So let's tap it out. K, a, cap. Just like on the other page, you saw that word. But now, here comes sneaky E. Sneaky E is going to try to sneak that vowel out behind this consonant. K, ape, cape. Do you know what a cape is? A cape is kind of like a piece of material that goes around a person's shoulders, or you might see a superhero like Superman wearing a cape. So a cape is a material that you don't put your arms through, but it just kind of drapes over you. Okay, so now we practiced with a couple of words, so you could see how how the silent E works with helping these vowels to make their sounds. So now I'm going to show you exactly what each vowel can do when it has the silent E with it. So here we have the letter A. Now the first sound that A makes when it makes its short sound is A. So let's practice this together. I'll say it first. You repeat after me. A, apple, A. A, safe, A. So now you can see in the word safe, we have that silent E. A safe is something that you put really precious things into, or things that you don't want anyone to be able to take out very easily. And you can see that in apple, we have that brev over the A, but in safe, we have that macron like we do with the open syllables, because the vowel is saying its name. Let's look at the next letter. E, ed, eh. E, Pete, E. I, itch, I. I, pine, I. O, octopus, ah. O, home, O. Now, you'll see 3 for the letter U. So here's the thing about the letter U. The letter U can make a short sound like up. But when the letter U is making a long sound, it can do 2 things. It can say its name, like in here, you, mule, you. Or if you look over the top of this, there's just 2 dots. And that's a really fancy way of saying that the sound of this letter is oo, like in rule. So the letter U can actually make 3 special sounds, and with the silent E, it can make 2 special sounds. So let's go over these. U, up, You, mule, you. You rule, ooh. Really great job. Next thing that I'd like to do is I'd like to show you how to mark up this syllable type. So with closed syllables, you know how to scoop it, put a C on the bottom to show that it's closed, put a brev over the top of the vowel. Today I'm going to show you how to mark up these syllable types that have a silent E. So let me grab my pen so that I can do some marking. Okay, so now the first thing that we're going to do, obviously, is to scoop it, because that's what we do with all of the syllables. Now, we have a couple of things that we need to show here. We need to show that the vowel E at the end is not making any sound. And the way you do that is you just put one line through it. Then we need to name this syllable type. So when it was a closed syllable, like in cap, I'm going to write that off to the side for a second. You might remember that in order to show that this was a closed syllable, you scooped it and you put a C for closed. Well, this is a vowel consonant E syllable. So the way we write that is we write a V, which is standing for the vowel that is going to make a sound. Then we just put a dash, because sometimes it's 1 consonant, sometimes it's 2, sometimes it might even be 3. Then you put an E at the end. So you have V dash E. That is this syllable type. And the last thing that you have to do is show that the A is saying its name. It's making its long sound. So you're going to put a line over the top of it, which is called a macron. And I like to think that it's kind of like the vowel zipping out the door, go making a straight line for the door so that it can run out and say its name. Okay, this next word I chose for a really specific reason because I want to show you something weird that happens when you have an S with a silent E next to it. So I'm going to remind you of a word that it's actually, this is a closed syllable, but it has a suffix in it. And we learned this a long time ago when we learned the suffix S. We learned that sometimes the suffix S makes a zipper sound, like in bugs. Well, here's the funny thing. When you have an S with a silent E after it, it makes the same sound. It makes a Z sound. So let's try to read this word. Eyes. Wise. Like a wise owl. So I picked this word just so I could show you that that S is making a Z sound, but that's because it's followed by the letter E and it's a silent E. So I'm going to scoop this word, and I'm not even going to have to mark up the fact that this is making a Z sound. I just wanted to show it to you so when you're reading, you know that S, you have to be flexible with that sound, and when it has a silent E after it, it usually is making a Z sound. Now I'm going to cross off the E because it's not making any sound. It's a silent E. I'm going to name this syllable type as V-E. And then I'm going to put a macron over the I. Okay, we learned how to do a lot here. We learned a new syllable type called a V-E syllable type, which is the silent E syllable type. We learned what happens when you have an E at the end. We looked at how the vowels can make their long sound. The letter U has two long sounds. And we learned how to mark them up. So that's a lot of stuff that we learned today. I hope that while you're reading today, you might notice some words that have silent E's at the end. You can try to read them. And if you want to share some of those words with me, I would love to hear them. Okay, so start noticing these words in your reading.